Hey everybody, GC13 here. It looks like Summer Camp Island has a regular schedule. One batch of episodes in the summer, and another in the winter. We've talked about 2021 summer batch already, and its winter batch is almost here. On Thursday, December 9th, what I assume will be called the 5th season will hit HBO Max. We don't know how many episodes there will be, but we know that they'll take place in 5 arcs. The first one is 3 episodes long and centers around Barb and the Spotted Bears. Julia Pott even referred to it as Barb's origin story. The other 4 arcs all get at least some obvious representation in the season trailer. You should watch it if you haven't. It won't take long, it's only 30 seconds. But since I don't have long before the season hits, I wanted to talk about what I see in the trailer and what I hope is in the season. And yeah, before I look at the trailer, it's time for what is fast becoming the new free space on the GC13 Summer Camp Island bingo card. The Other Witches from the Island's Coven. We know they were on the island immediately before the campers showed up, helping convert it into a summer camp, but we still haven't seen any of them in the present day. I will laugh if, at any point in the show, it's just casually mentioned that the rest of the coven is off on summer vacation. Susie and Ramona were running a school for witches after all, and it is summer vacation that sent all of our campers to the island in the first place. There could be a more substantive explanation for their absence, of course, but we've spent time in that witch school and haven't seen anything to suggest that they're still on the island. Mark me down as hoping for a little bit of humor. And, speaking of witches, one of the 5 arcs is a peek at some of Susie's past, called Susie and Her Sister, which has a couple of scenes in the trailer. In one scene, we see Susie conducting some kind of Christmassy ritual with a witch we've never seen before, maybe her mother. It seems to be a one-on-one session, so is this Susie when she was still learning magic? There's another flashback to a very young Susie on what must be a very early broom ride. And in the ritual, I'll note that Susie doesn't have a hat, while the other witch does. Do you have to earn your hat? Whether or not, this witch is wearing a very old-school outfit, very different from what seemed to be fashionable among witches of Susie's generation. Obviously she's older than Susie. It's just neat to see a different style than the one everyone in Susie's coven wears. It looks like Susie flashbacks aren't the only trips backwards in time we get either. The first shot of the trailer is of Oscar dressed up in a monster suit, hanging out at school with younger versions of the monsters, part of a story arc appropriately enough named Oscar and the Monsters. And, I mean, is anyone else getting Where the Wild Things Are vibes off of that title card? I think this arc is time travel, with some excuse for why Oscar has to masquerade as a monster. And if it is, then it should be the monsters in high school, since Mortimer and Blanche attended different universities. Those sure don't look like high school classrooms, though. So if it turns out to be time travel, well, I remember Director's Cut, and we'll see if Retcon can fight to keep its place on the free space of my bingo card. Now, the last big piece of this trailer makes me very nervous. Susie is explaining to us how regrets can leave your body as ghost burps. Something we saw quite a lot of with all sorts of memories, actually, when Susie and Ramona first came to the island. One thing we see while the narrator talks is Betsy spending time with Ghost the Boy, her boyfriend who Susie memory wiped to keep away from her. Betsy and the Ghost is one of the 5 story arcs, which has me worried that those beans might finally be spilled to Betsy, and she's going to have a hard time forgiving Susie if they are. Another thing we see, though, is Mildred. Now, I'm standing by my theory that Emma is actually Mildred, so I will of course be looking for anything else that backs that up. The most interesting thing to look at, though, is that title card for Susie and her sister. What color is her sister's hair? Why, it's blue. The fur color even matches up. It's all making sense why Mildred is such an important person to Susie. And, since I've mentioned everything else, Alexa riding a giant bird. This is part of the last story arc, the babies, but we don't have much to go on. Are we going to find out what kind of magical creature Alexa is? We won't have to wait long to find out. The new episodes drop on Thursday. What do you think is going to happen in Season 5? What shot from the trailer has you most stoked? What's your favorite title card? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more cartoon videos.